Alright everybody, welcome back. I'm making this video right now real quick because this is on my mind and it's going to drive me crazy if I don't. But if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. Let me try this again. If it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe. And I see we got a couple new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds community. And my veteran subscribers, as always, much love to you for all that you do. Help them support the channel. Alrighty, I want to get to the brass tacks of this really quick. I wanted to make this short little video because this is something that's interesting that I want to see. This is what I want to see happen. Okay, this is something NVIDIA should take out of AMD's playbook when it comes to putting more RAM on a GPU. So let's go ahead and go to the action screen and I'll show you what I got cooking. And don't forget, hey man, don't mess with me, man. There we go. So my sound effects, they work. All right. We kind of strolled over to videocards.com and we picked up on some information. Gigabyte expects the Radeon RX 7600 XT to debut with 16 gigabytes of memory. Not 10 or 12, but 16 gigs. Just like they got here. Let's see. In contrast to the EEC leak that indicated Power Color's Radeon RX 7600 XT GPU with a 10/12 gigabyte memory configuration, Gigabyte has provided updated information suggesting a different scenario. The regulatory filings for the Eurasian Economic Commission, tongue twister, from Gigabyte list at least two models, both featuring 16 gigabytes. Okay, so what's so different about the two? Oh, one's the OC version and the other one's not. So, and they're going to do an OC version. Wow, with 16 gigs? Nice. Despite the initial surprise, the XT variant stands out with the double memory comparison to the 7600 model, which I know somebody that's got the 7600. 16 gigabyte configuration is becoming more common in this segment as shown by NVIDIA's RTX 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte card, which has gained popularity among board partners, but not really amongst gamers, which is true. I mean, they could have beefed up the specs a little bit better and dropped the 8 gigabyte card and just went a full 16. But everybody likes the 8 gigabyte card. You like the 8 gigabyte card, that's fine. It's nothing against you. So now I'm looking at this date right here. Looking at this date right here, 12/31/2028. And then it says valid. And then that says 12/28/2023. Keep that in mind. And I'll explain that in a minute. It's worth noting that NVIDIA's SKU faces limitations in terms of memory bus, 128-bit, and 8 PCI Express lanes. On the contrary, the RX 7600 XT might not encounter these problems. If AMD opts for the Navi 32 GPU, otherwise it would be limited to 48 cores, it opens up greater bandwidth, twice as wide memory bus, 256 bits, and full 16 PCI lane interface, while AMD could choose a 128-bit bus for a product, product balance, basically, and to avoid impacting the RX 7700 XT sales, such as 16 gigabytes of 256-bit configuration in the $400 or $300 price range, could prove highly successful. So, in my opinion, I don't think they're going to really worry about that impact. I think they're just going to make the card, and it's going to make a big impact on some of NVIDIA's GPUs. Some of their older GPUs, it's going to outdate a lot of their older GPUs, because a lot of people are going to go for the 7600 XT at 16 gigabytes. They're not going to mess around with the older cards, because why would they do that if you can get this into a $300 price range? Okay, the 7600 XT into a $300 price range. I don't think anybody will be starting to mess with them older cards. Not unless you're collecting them, then I can understand that. But rumors suggest that AMD is planning to launch Radeon 7600 RX 7600 XT in late January. January is going to be friggin' busy, man. It's going to be super busy between Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA. It's going to be like slam packed for the whole month. They're jamming everything into January. I don't know why. I think it's the matter of they're all fighting for the top. They're all fighting for the price. It's going to be a price war. A lot of people have been saying that too. It's going to be a price war. And I'm starting to see that it might end up happening. So we will stay tuned for that, and I'll let you know if it happens. And if it does happen, oh my goodness. They're just going to go off the chain at this point. So potentially positioning it between the RX 4070 Ti Super and the 4080 Super launches around January 24th, although this launch date is not confirmed and subject to change. It would make the first confirmation of the new memory configuration for the 7600 XT. Now, if they're going to plan on going to GDDR7 on this new card and try to nuke NVIDIA, I think that would really nuke them at that point, because all the new lineup that I see with here, let me make this smaller. 50. Okay, we'll make it smaller for you. I mean, let's look at the brass tacks of this. 7800 XT, it's got 60 CUs, it's got 3,840 core, 2.4 gigahertz, which I can vouch for, and the 16-bit 256 bus, 19.5 gigabits per second. It's got a bandwidth of 624 gigabits and board power of 263 watts, which I confirmed that already. So I got mine for 520. It's power color, and it's the OC version. So that right there is confirmed, tested, and it's everything it says it is. The 7800 XT. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's everything it says it is. Not knocking NVIDIA, so I'm not knocking either or. I'm just saying it's everything it says it is. Now, the 7700 I can't really elaborate on because I haven't tested it yet. Now, they're going to fit into the SKU, the 7600 XT. It looks like it might go in and it might not. What if they come up with the 7700 to fit in this SKU? So that's what they're probably trying to fit in, is the 7800 and the 7700. And then, you know, you figure those two non-XT SKUs, they're going to, if they figure those in with all this, then they're going to have a good low end lineup, you know, between low end and intermediate end. So they're really going to have a really big lineup at this point. I mean, if they throw in that GPU and two more and make it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it may be a 7500 and a 7500 XT, but I don't think they're going to cut it down any lower than 2048 cores, because if they did that, then that would go lower than their RX 580, which is only 2000 and some cores. So I doubt they're probably going to take it down that low. Never know, they might, but anything that's under 2000 cores in this kind of lineup for this new generation, I would never buy. And if I was the consumer, I would never recommend it to any consumer if it was that low. The problem is that their core counts, their streaming processors should have been a lot higher so they can fit in a 7500 and a 7500 XT, which they didn't do. You know, the streaming processors are really low, but it seems to work for them. But they're as far as the frequency, I couldn't push that. I couldn't even push that the 7800 XT over 3 gigahertz. For some reason, it just did not want to go past 2700 megahertz, which is 2.7 gigahertz. It just didn't want to go any further than that. So I don't know. 263 watts. There's something really wrong with that. Maybe if they looked at it, instead of making the memory speed 19.5, maybe they should have pushed it up to 21. You know, maybe they should have pushed this up to 19, this up to 21 to give it a good difference, and then left that at 18, or, you know, 21, 20, 19, and then 18, and then 17 and 16. You know, they could have done it like that, but they put it too close. And as far as the power wise, you know, I mean, 18 watt difference and a $50 difference. People are going to look at this like they're going to say, well, you know, that's 192 bits and it's 12 gigabytes and it's way cheaper than the RTX 4070, and, you know, you're going to say it's at least $100 cheaper than the 4070. Do keep in mind the performance between the 7700 XT and the 4070 is way different. So for that extra $100, is it worth the bump up in that price to performance line? I don't, and be honest with you, I really wouldn't think it would be. I mean, they should have brought this down to like $429. Made it a bigger price difference in between the two. So, but that's just them moving on down the road. So, alrighty. We had a little looky. We had a little looky in there. Let's go ahead and pop up to the main screen and give you my thoughts. Well, my thoughts is this. On the 7600 XT with 16 gigabytes. If the price is right, and let's say they push it to be a $299 card, a $300 card, that card right there is going to take and blow away a lot of the 40 series cards for the simple fact that it's got 16 gigabytes of VRAM, if that's what's going to happen. It all depends. It all depends. It all depends. If it swings that way and it gives you 16 gigabytes of VRAM and it comes out, hoping it comes out before 2028, but they're talking about January, maybe in January, but possibly February. Possibly they'll wait till February, let NVIDIA roll out all their stuff, and then come back with the price jammer. One that's going to lower the prices down a little bit and make everybody swing back to AMD. They're going to use that as probably their wild card. I don't know what y'all are thinking. Leave your comments below on the video. But I'm thinking they're going to use this as a wild card for when NVIDIA brings out all their new graphics cards. It's just a feeling I have. Since NVIDIA focuses more on the high-end side and AMD focuses more on the low-end side, it seems that everybody right now, the way pricing is going, is more or less focused on the low-end side than they are the high-end side. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents on this. And if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. And my veteran subscribers, as always, much love to you, as always, for all that you do, helping support the channel, watching videos from beginning to end, and telling your friends to come on down and subscribe and watch videos from beginning to end, which is much appreciated. Until the next time, and I mean the next time in the next video, this is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. We will see you on the next one.